Now, when they saw the boldness and perceived that they were uneducated, common men.
Bob didn't know what to ask Jesus for, Ron. Bob didn't know what to ask Jesus for. Violins. Love the violins. Y'all know what time it is when the violins come on. What up? Welcome to Layman's Cup. Thank you for joining us. You are sipping with four guys seeking the truth one sip at a time. I'm Kemp, and I'm alongside Bob Sims, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
My man, Sean.
What's up?
And last but not least, filling in for West today. I know, I keep putting a T on the end of his name lately.
Wesley.
Filling in for West.
Does West have a T-ball game today?
No, I think he's putting together a bouncy house for himself. Literally.
Matt Coffee, say what's up to the people.
Hello.
Bob, is there anybody else in the room?
Hey, Ann.
Hey, Bob.
There it is. There it is. Well, we are thrilled to be sharing a cup of coffee with you. And if you're just now getting to know us, Sean can give you some places to get to know more. I was confused there for a second. I was about to say Ann can give you some places. Are you already crocheting?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We ain't
55 seconds in.
Go ahead, Sean.
This show is brought to you by Layman's Cup Coffee. You can get a cup at laymanscupcoffee.com. Thank you for listening to Layman. You can find us on any podcast catcher. Follow us on all the social medias. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All the social media that counts anyway. Make sure that you go and look us up on YouTube and hit the subscribe button. We have a goal of racing to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible, so that you make sure that when we get the video out, which is coming soon, we'll talk about it here in a minute. And lastly, you can listen to the show on Spotify and iHeartRadio.
Well, let's get into our sponsors. Thank you to the good folks over at Candyland Creations, Candee Land Creations. You want to know how you find her? You go to Facebook. Candyland Creations, Candee. You scroll down just a tad, you'll see a link for her Etsy store. Go into her Etsy store, pick out what you want, or tell her what you want. Custom made, she can make it for you, even if it is fracturing a law or two. We found out. She will make a shirt for you.
And we might have to edit that part out to protect Candyland.
Yeah, we might have to cut that out.
She's not doing anything illegal.
That's right. That's exactly right. I tell you what she won't do. She will not change up the Layman's Cup logo.
Nope.
There you go. She won't change that up. Candee Land Creations. Go to her Etsy store, shop till you drop. Tell her that the Layman's Cup boy sent you. She's always making gift giving a little bit sweeter. And it's time to travel. Matt Coffee, I know you like traveling.
Oh, yeah.
You like going on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Do you like Disney World?
Yeah.
You do? No, okay.
I love Disney World.
Who? What?
It's the happiest place on earth.
Yeah, well, listen. Many people, clearly, every time you go, there's tons of people who love Disney World. Navigating Neverland Travel Company.
There's kids who love Disney World and their parents who are getting drug along.
There's kids who love it and their parents.
Yeah.
But John and Amy love it. And Megan is going to Disney World with a couple of her friends, and there are no kids going. Jenna is the youngest kid at about 25.
She's not taking you?
No.
Mm-hmm.
You're the kid that she's leaving behind?
I'm fine with that. Fine with that. I don't do theme parks. But Navigating Neverland Travel Company, if you do, here's why I don't do theme parks, because I don't do them well. I don't like to ride roller coasters, and I'm just standing around looking at people ride and have fun.
You're just waiting in line to not ride roller coasters, basically.
There's only so much cotton candy and popcorn you can eat.
Is there?
There's only so many candy apples that you can eat. You know what I do prefer, though? I prefer the green apples dipped in caramel.
Yeah. Maybe you should try a water park. You like water parks?
Yeah, I see where you're going with this, and I'm not going to take the bait.
Man, have you ever met Kim? I'm just asking.
I'm
curious. Have you ever met
Or
Kim?
go out boating on a Saturday or something.
Yeah.
Comfort is his idol. So
Navigating Neverland Travel Company. And here's why I ask if you like to travel, Matt, because she's doing more than Disney World now. She's submitted her paperwork. She's waiting to hear back from the major players. But she's going to be helping everybody navigate Sandals.
Oh, yeah. I can do that.
There you see. Now we're talking. Sandals and some other places. So Navigating Neverland Travel Company will not just be dedicating all her time to just Neverland, Disney World. And Disney properties, Disney cruises, all that kind of stuff. She's going to be doing some other properties too, sandals to be specific. And then when you get back from traveling, you're going to want to recline. You can't recline if you don't have furniture, and you need furniture. So you got to go to the good folks over at Carolina Furniture Mart, 644 North Ashman Street, Lincolnton, North Carolina, 28092. Go and let their family serve your family. Go see a man named Stu. Stu will take care of you. And since we shouted out Pure Fitness last time, let's shout out another company that you own this week. It's tax season. Are you done with taxes now? Are you?
I'm done. Yes.
Are you? You got everybody.
Friday was the deadline.
Friday was the deadline. You get everybody squared away.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see what the IRS has to say about that.
Is there a fall deadline?
Well, it's the
Corporate.
extension deadline.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not the corporate deadline, Bob.
Okay.
Hey,
Whatever.
That's why your interview didn't go well.
I just file extensions for everybody.
did you offer me an interview to come work at your tax company?
I've tested out your math before.
So a guy misses a decimal point. No big deal.
No big deal. I don't see an issue with that.
No. 644 North Ashford Street, Lincoln, North Carolina. Go see them. Stu will take care of you. And if
Stu going to do your taxes? I thought we were talking about me.
I did. I somehow went
messed
back.
that up.
Yeah, I went
You
back
messed
into
that up.
Stu got 2 shouts. This is because
He owes us one.
he does. He owes us. He owes me.
No shout outs next week.
He owes
No,
me.
better yet, actually take your taxes over there and listen. Just see what happens.
I'm curious. Can Stu do better taxes than Matt Coffee CPA?
Don't forget the highlighted one.
Buymeacoffee.com/Layman's Cup. This is how you can help support the efforts over here at Layman's Cup podcast, because we're going to video soon. And we are almost there. We're almost there. And I would like to thank the Layman's Army for stepping up and going to buy us a coffee. Buymeacoffee.com/Layman's Cup. You guys are killing it. And we have some gift packages coming soon to some people for stepping up. I would just like to say, Pam Droxler, you're my hero. I don't want to shout people out, but I just can't help shouting some people out.
Yeah. I'm not, just for all, for openness, I guess. Obama was
Transparency.
the most transparent.
Now don't say
President.
don't say a number.
No, I won't say a number, but we have kind of 2 goals in mind, and so we're working on the first goal, and we are now halfway there.
Yeah.
So this week, we meant to buy. We told you last week we were going to buy a board. Things fell through. We had a guy that was going to help us out, and
We hadn't heard from him yet.
yeah. Now I know what the term ghosting means. But we're going to order that probably today, and hopefully the next time you hear us, you're going to hear us through a new board, and Ian's going to have some fun little toys with it to play with. So
Thanks to you, Layman's Army.
So when I say that say thank you.
Yes.
We're halfway through our first goal.
Yeah, man.
And we'll tell you when we hit that goal, and then we have another goal because we got something else. So we're doing this in stages pretty much. So keep giving. Buymeacoffee.com/Layman's Cup is the best way to give us. There's no fees. But look, we're not too proud to take checks and cash. Matt Coffee, we'll take cash. But everything is going to buy equipment to get us to YouTube. And if you listen to us well, we want to go to YouTube for the fact that we want to grow. We want to grow our audience. We want to do some different things, but stick to what we do best. And hopefully that's to challenge people to go to the Scripture and see the world through Scripture.
We're going
Have you, for growth purposes, and I will donate
Pull it
for
closer
this.
to you.
For growth purposes, and I'll donate to this. Have y'all considered all getting matching face tattoos with Layman's Cup logos on it?
No. I haven't. I have not. That's one thing I haven't considered. I'm not saying I'm totally against it.
As a layman's wife, I'm going to go ahead and boycott that one and say no.
Think of the advertising.
It's branding
You
all
get
the
the
time.
price, and I will fund that.
And this can't be the first time that Sean's been ghosted.
No, it's the first time I was cool enough to know what that term meant.
Oh, I see.
No, that's a weekly thing.
Did Ann give you her number on the first attempt?
I'll let Ian tell this story.
Did you give him your phone number on his first try?
I did. It was kind of pitiful,
pitiful,
so I
like-
did.
It's a joke. Just
No,
Sympathy?
I'd embarrassed him playing basketball, and I felt kind of bad. And he was like, "Hey, can I get your number?" And like all the suave guys, he like pulls out a cell phone. Like,
I was pulling out my cell phone before cell phones were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you as a clamshell.
Put your number in my phone.
Big girl.
You pulled out that Nokia.
He was in the middle of playing a game of Snake.
Put your number in my phone, girl.
Page me.
I'm not that old, Bob.
BuyMeACoffee.com/Layman's Cup. Thank you guys already for you have gotten us to the point where we're halfway there. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. First things first. That says we need new equipment, but that's not. Oh no! First things first. That needs to be its own line.
By the way, well, first things first. What are we sipping on this morning?
Well, coffee's brewed.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Coffee's
Layman's Cup coffee is what it is.
Coffee's brewed. Nobody's sipping on it. I had a long night last night of yelling, and so I'm drinking my tea concoction this morning because I got some worship to help lead this week end, and so I'm getting my voice back.
I'm sorry. I just assumed we didn't have coffee. We'll take a break here in a minute.
You should smell the aromas when you walk in.
I smelled your tea
Oh
and your
gosh,
lemon.
gosh,
honey lemon tea.
you would not make a good narcotics officer.
Go get it, Sean. Go get it, boy.
I'm really excited about you getting your voice. Worship should be much better.
Exponentially better.
Why don't you do that every week?
Wait, why didn't you do this before?
Is this the first time you've tried this?
Oh gosh, we are sipping. There is some Layman's Cup coffee brew, but Matt Coffee and I are sipping on my Sunday morning concoction, which is tea. So what I do is I squeeze 3 lemon wedges in my tumbler. I cover that with honey, and I pour hot water over it and drop the tea bag in it, and then I just sip on that all day long. But normally I have it in a bigger tumbler. And so right now it may be a little bit bitter because the lemons are really powerful in this little tumbler. So it's good. A little bit, it's good. But if you just keep spinning it, that honey will mix up in there. And
You know I'm not on sugar. You put honey all in it.
It's a natural
All
sweetener.
in it.
It's a natural sweetener.
It's all sugar.
Yeah, it's all.
So is sugar.
Sugar cane. Sugar cane's also
no,
natural.
it's
Yeah,
not
but that's
sugar. It's
processed.
honey.
That's processed. Is there a difference?
They both make you fat.
They act the same inside your body.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh.
In fairness, I did eat a
crocheting
biscuit
at this
too.
point. I guarantee you, listeners have picked it up by now. Going tea? What?
I'm just when I asked Bob, like, Bob, did you get a tea this morning?
I did not get a tea. No.
Okay, just checking.
No.
Why does it look so different in here than the last time I was here?
Tell me what you think it is.
Well, I thought this was the layman's cup.
Oh.
There's
Shots
estrogen.
fired,
There's,
big boy.
there's
Okay.
estrogen in here now. Not the ladies cup.
Hey,
Lay
what light is he on again?
woman's cup.
It's lay people's cup.
Lay people's cup.
Hey, you want to see what button I
Lay
have?
persons.
It's you know what this is? You know what this is? It's the lay they's cup. Nobody?
No.
No?
What pronouns do y'all prefer?
Oh shit.
No, you muted, boy. You muted.
What's that?
Had it. What's the pronouns y'all prefer?
They.
They.
When you
I
talk
got
about
an
all of
email
us.
this week. I was doing a real estate closing, and this is the first time I've actually seen it done. Under the signature, it said preferred pronouns, she, her. It was a woman. I didn't know. I guess we have to.
I was having to do a virtual doctor's appointment, or a sleep
Yeah, I have
doctor
at work.
and there were literally probably I wanted to save my screen because the questionnaire for it was like probably 10 questions on gender. It's like, why should there be more than one question on gender?
Yeah.
It was talking about like,
All right, so reviews.
First things first is coffee. We got it brewed. Matt and I are sipping on tea. Reviews, new likes. Do we have any reviews?
No reviews.
Okay.
Make sure if you like what you hear, and we surely hope you do, go to iTunes and give us a 5-star review. If you write something, we'll make sure that we read it. Also, want to give a shout out to our buddy Tom Agnew, pastor of Grace Baptist Church in north of Nashville. He has started his own podcast called Ordinary Grace.
Ordinary Grace.
So go give that a shout out and tell him the layman sent you.
And also to Ann, really, Ann, thank you for all the social media engagement. It's been killing it lately. All right.
new likes.
New likes.
New likes. We have Jesse Elizondo from Granger, Washington. Sunshine Blankenship from Washington.
SON.
Yes, Sunshine. Ivan Nunez. It's happening.
What's happening?
No, I'm just saying.
What's happening?
Maybe they know Amanda,
Yeah.
and we can finally make this happen.
Ivan, I'm sure you're listening because you've heard all the talk about your either your aunt or niece, but we are willing to set up a fight between your aunt or niece or whatever she is relation to you in Kemp.
I don't hit girls.
Ivan's from Royal City, Washington.
I don't care you hit her or not. I just want to see her hit you.
I would pay. I would buy all her equipment if
I don't hit girls.
If she can punch you in the face. D. Drevu, you're gonna have to Druva from Wapato, Washington.
Wapato.
And obviously we want to give a shout out to LR Valdez Reynolds, or is it LR? It's Lewis and Miss Robin. Definitely check them out on Facebook as far as their rentals. So if you're in the Washington area and you would like to, and you're traveling to the area and you'd like to go glamping, apparently, or you like they rent recreational vehicles, or I certainly don't want to butcher it. So it's LR Valdez Rentals. You can check them out on Facebook. They also have a YouTube page that you can follow, and they have a lot of videos on there showing different things, different aspects of using recreational vehicles. So definitely give them a follow.
Como está tu señor Valdez y tu esposa? Yeah, I did that. I speak Spanish.
You didn't insult him somehow?
Nope.
In translation?
He'll respond to that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, no, I don't have anything to get off my chest this week. No special events coming up soon. Post-meal patty, it's going to pot. Let's get into some quick sips. Now, my quick sip for this week, it concerns one Kyrie Irving. If you don't know Kyrie Irving, is the National Basketball Association player for the Brooklyn Nets. You should know Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is a flat earther.
Yep, I was going to mention that.
Yeah, is a bit of a conspiracy theorist, and he says some things that one would characterize him as being a little bit aloof. And the problem, not a problem, but oddly enough, he went to Duke University. So you think he's
he was enrolled at Duke.
Yeah.
He went. Yeah, but he had to get in. He had to qualify to get in.
Did he?
They recruit the same players everyone recruits.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Well, then that spoils my bubble about that. Burst my bubble about that. But anyway, I would consider him a pretty sharp guy. And if you hear him talk, you know that he, even if it's bizarre, you can tell he is at least thinking about it. Like it's not just like a bunch of incoherent words strung together. He's at least thinking about it. And all that to say, I generally don't agree with Kyrie Irving, except this week, Kyrie Irving, I completely agree with you, because Kyrie is in a bit of a pickle now because he is refusing to take the vaccine. And what's going to happen, because his team is in the state of New York, they won't allow him to work in the state of New York, so he can't show up at the arena and play or practice.
So hold on, look, what New York City did, what Blasio did, is he said that if you were going to go into any establishment in New York City, you have to have the vaccine. You have to produce a vaccine card.
Passport.
So Broadway, shopping, grocery stores, to get gas, to do anything in the city of New York, you have to have a vaccine card saying that you have been vaccinated.
Fully
Vaccinated. So that's why. So Brooklyn Nets obviously play in Brooklyn. Do they play Madison Square, or they?
No, they play in Brooklyn.
And they actually play in Brooklyn. Anyway, so technically, by this law that Blasio put, it was a mandate that he put in. If you're not vaccinated, you can't go into the arena, and that's where that's coming from. I just wanted to explain the background of why he can't play in the city of New York.
I didn't realize mayors had that much power to make a mandate.
Many towns mayors are ceremonial, but in some towns the mayor has a lot of power.
Right.
Yeah, mayor of Georgiana, Alabama can't do it. I don't think he can do this mandate.
We had a mayor in Maiden, Bob Smyer, for a long time. Huh? You know him?
I got my hair cut by him when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He's the mayor
He was
slash
not
barber.
as good as Braden.
That's the town I grew up in. Our mayor also had a barbershop.
That's where Kemp and I came from.
So I just want to touch back on Sean's information about New York because I took the first plunge this week.
Sheep.
I'm a total sheep.
Did you really?
And took the first plunge. Yeah, took the first plunge this week, and I hate myself for it
You had ulterior motive though.
because I'm traveling to New York.
Yeah.
And I think that if you are not a New York State resident, you have to produce the first part of the vaccine.
Maybe that's yeah.
Somebody fact check me on that because if I'm not going to go if I have to be fully vaccinated, I'm not going to go. But here's what they did. Here's what we said they were going to do. They're going to make life hard for those who are unvaxxed. And if you can't go eat, you can't go watch Broadway, you can't go to a basketball game because you're not vaccinated, then life's just going to be hard for you. So I fell right into it, knowing that I knew exactly what the play was, and I still bid on the play. But I took the first plunge, and so I'm going to New York. But back to Kyrie, he can't work. He can't play in the state of New York. That means he can't play at 42 home games. He can't play at Madison Square Garden, however many times they play there. And then there's some states, I think like California's got some weird vaccine mandates too. So if California is the same way, that's Lakers, Clippers, Sacramento, Golden State. I think that's all of them. He couldn't. That's 4 road games that he can't play in. So there's 82 games, 42 he's going to miss plus whatever happens on the road. So the Nets said, listen, until you can fully participate with the team, you're not coming back. And to boot, we're going to pay you for half of the season because there are some games that you could go on. You could go on some road games. But because we made a decision to say that you're not coming, we'll just go ahead and pay you for those games that you could participate in. Kyrie says, fine, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to be a voice for the voiceless, is what he says. I'm going to use my platform to stand up against this vaccine mandate because I don't believe that the United States government should make mandates for people to get vaccinated. And if they don't, they're forced to lose their job. I happen to completely agree with Kyrie Irving.
I agree with Uncle Drew.
Amen.
Uncle Drew.
Amen.
I thought you had a different train of thought on this. You're good with this.
No, not on that.
Yeah. But we saw this play coming.
Has this started? Any of these cases started litigating in court yet? Like,
Not yet. I don't think. There's an agency in nearby, but law enforcement agency nearby that has forced their officers to leave. They had to turn their stuff in because they didn't get vaccinated. It's already happening.
So what's the only court cases that I know of that's now going into the lower appeals court is Texas, Abbott, and DeSantis in Florida said banned mandates, saying no local government could have any mandates. So it's the reversal of what New York did. Yeah. Those are the only court cases I know that's going now to like an appeals court. So,
why would they go to court if they're not making the citizens in Texas be?
But so what's happening, and I think it's in Texas that's happening, is a local school district is mandating masks.
Got you.
And then Abbott is saying, nope, you can't do that. That's not
non-constitutional.
So he's made an executive order. You can't do that. So that school district is suing Abbott over his executive order that you can't have mandates.
Where you at on that? Can a school make you put a mask on to come in?
Yes. And here's why I say that. A school could make, and this is just precedent that I'm going on. Public schools could say that you have to have a vaccine. Like, for instance, we have to have certain vaccine. I had to get Hannah. But in that mandate, in that there is a religious exemptions. So, for examples, Jehovah's Witnesses do not take vaccines. It is a religious, conviction, and so they have that exemption. I think schools, if they're going to do this, they have to have that religious exemption. When they don't, then it's, I don't agree with it. And here's the thing too about public schools too, and why I think I believe certain entities can do this. I believe business owners can. I believe schools can, because there's other options. But when a government, whoever's over Lincoln County says, if you're going to do any business in Lincoln County, then you have to have a vaccine card. So therefore, I can't grocery shop in my town. Then you're stepping it too far, because I don't have a choice.
I don't know where I'm at.
I bet the GLTQs have something to say about them saying you can't have mandates.
The GLTQs. Yeah. Careful. We're not above being
Cancel. No. So yeah, I'm in lockstep with you.
Yeah, okay.
So I want to state that unequivocally. I'll play devil's advocate just for the fun of it.
Okay.
How's it different? Because I guess it is. We all had to get a vaccination to go to school. All right, unpack that.
Yeah.
We were mandated.
We weren't woman dated. They're coming for you. But the thoughts of Matt Coffey are not necessarily the thoughts of Layman's Cup. Yeah, I have considered that. We had to take certain vaccines to go to grade school and all that. My son and my daughter, it was strongly suggested for you to have the vaccine to come to campus. My son, it was mandated. My son goes to a private school. Private school says you have to have the vaccine to come on campus. The state school said it's strongly suggested, but what the students did was they looked back on the year prior to and saw that they missed the year of school. Like they weren't able to be on campus. They couldn't go to football games and basketball games, and they were like, we're taking a vaccine just to get back to normalcy. So people are missing their normalcy and they're taking the vaccine, which to play devil's advocate, I'll throw it back at you and Sean. Anybody who will give up their freedom for some liberty or something that y'all used
when you
to
give
say,
up essential liberty for temporary safety, you deserve neither liberty nor safety.
So I could say that to those students. I could say that to who all the greater public that wants normalcy, which is me, by the way. I just took the first.
Hold on a second. So
go ahead and
I just took the first plunge. Yeah. By the way, to get some normalcy.
It's not just a matter of that I want normalcy. Like I've made the argument on here, 100% against mandates, but the numbers. These are the numbers from Atrium
Atrium's
last
is
week.
A local hospital here.
Yeah. I've seen Atrium and Catawba Valley Memorial. They both say the same thing. And I don't believe they're part of some greater conspiracy cover-up.
Okay.
Like, it's just not happening. And plus, I know tons of people that have been vaccinated with no problems. Okay, 162 people on life support at Atrium. 156 unvaccinated. 6% vaccinated. That's a 96% rate for the unvaccinated. The week before that, 222 people on life support, 215 were unvaccinated, 7 were vaccinated, 97% unvaccinated. I don't need any other numbers other than that.
So what I would say to that, in all honesty, is I hope you're right. Not the numbers, but I hope.
Do you think they're lying?
I don't know.
No, I think we all agree with the same thing, that because everybody in this room is vaccinated, but we made our own decision. It wasn't forced, and we are against any type of mandate from the federal government saying you have to get this.
So to answer your question for me, and this is my personal thing, I didn't get the vaccination to make life normal.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I made the.
Yeah, you were being real dramatic when you had COVID.
Yeah, I was, because I didn't want my family to see me in the hospital again.
Yeah.
There was a time where it was probably one of the worst nights I was in the hospital, and I don't know if you remember this, Matt, but Wes FaceTimed me, and I was thinking it was just Wes, and Wes was at a party with Corey Size and Matt, and I was like, oh look, now y'all see me where I'm about to die here. My hair was like all out to here. And I stunk, and it was like, yeah. Anyway, so I mean, to me, it wasn't so life could go back to normal, and especially so life couldn't go back to normal to other people.
It was so you didn't die.
Right. I wasn't going to spend another week in the hospital.
I think for a lot of people, when they started seeing people their age that were reasonably healthy, and you didn't have to see many of them. You only had to see 1, 2 that die or get or are seriously ill for forever to some degree. So
I took the plunge, and I'm telling you this: I don't want to go to New York bad
and
enough
for
to take
you,
the plunge.
for you, it's
I could
all
stay at home.
For you. You only took it out of comfort. You felt 100% solid that if you got it, you're gonna be fine.
Yep.
Aren't you guys going to the lake? Was it Lake starts with a K? Or are you guys going to the city?
To the city. We're going to Army,
Okay.
West Point. We're going to Army Wake Forest game.
Okay.
And you can't go in the stadiums up there and
Yeah.
stuff like that unless you're vaccinated.
Is that what
now,
Yankees
so
say?
I need to find out if you got to be fully vaccinated because I am not fully.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be by the time we go.
Did they give you a card and they wrote it on there?
Yeah.
They wrote half of it on there. Yeah.
Right together.
Right the other
You'll be
half.
Fine.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I'll check the date. Surely
go
in
to
your
jail.
line of work, you know somewhere you can get a fake vaccination card, right?
What date did they do it? Was it October? It was October. It's hard to change in October.
It's hard to change that 10.
Yeah, you can't change that 10 if it's a 6. If it's a 6 or 3 or something like that.
He's got
Coming from
white
the
out on
accountant
it.
people.
You got white out on it.
I'm comforted knowing that the guy that does my mom's taxes is like, now these are the numbers you can change easily, and these are the numbers that are harder to change.
Yeah.
Lucky for you, we don't use pencils on those tax returns.
All right, let's take a break since we know that there's coffee available now.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back to it. What's up, everybody? Since nobody else is here on the microphone with me, I'm going to say this. It's your favorite layman. It's Kemp. And I'm here to promote our buymeacoffee.com/layman's cup efforts. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who's bought us a cup of coffee, who's bought us multiple cups of coffee. You are giving to this small ministry in a small corner in the uttermost parts of the world. You're giving to this ministry. And what we're trying to do is take this to a bigger platform, which is YouTube. And you, Layman's Army, are stepping up and making that happen for us. So first of all, on behalf of all the laymen and the producer, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Now I got that out of the way. I'm your favorite layman, and your favorite layman is asking you to buy us more coffee. What you can do is go to buymeacoffee.com/layman's cup and leave us a note on there and tell us who your favorite layman is. And also buy us a cup of coffee. And I promise you, what we'll do with that money is we'll put those resources to good use. We need cameras, we need monitors, we need all sorts of things, lights, we need all sorts of things to make this ministry, to do this ministry with excellence. So that when we ask the Layman's Army to share out this content, you can be confident that you're sharing out this content and it's done with excellence. So we don't want to put you guys out there with poor quality. So we hope that this little gospel ministry continues to reach the uttermost parts of the world. And you can help us do that by buymeacoffee.com/layman's cup. It's your favorite layman, Kemp. Buy me a cup of coffee. Are we back in? Yeah. Man,
We did get some coffee, Sean and I, and it is it's Layman's Cup. It's strong.
Is it?
What is it?
It's mine.
That's what I was going to say.
It's good.
I brought
It's
coffee
good.
with me.
It's good.
Yeah.
I've been drinking nothing but black coffee for the last month. I don't know if I'll get used to it.
What brand are you drinking?
Whatever swill they have at work.
Yeah. So
No, Folgers if I do a brew. Keurig we do like coffee. Some coffee shop if I do a Keurig.
yeah.
I
Keurig,
like all my coffee fresh ground.
Keurig
Well, that
is.
thing-
Get on, Mike.
I'm going to just tell you,
Get on, Mike.
Keurig is the worst.
We're not on yet, are we?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
Is the worst version to do in coffee. So I always say cream is designed for bad coffee.
I miss cream. This would be so much better with cream in it.
This is good black. What I make at home is good black.
So put a little. Oh, you mean sweet cream?
Yeah.
I put depending on what I'm doing. I can do heavy whipping cream or
Yeah,
I don't.
you
You
even
need to
know
get
how
off. Y'all need to get off. Anybody that's still on it needs to get off the sweet cream.
Why?
That's what I miss.
Because
Don't
once
come
you
in here
start
judging us because you cut sugar out.
no, that's not about sugar. I'd cut that out a long time ago. Because you're a girl if you drink sweet cream, basically. Kemp.
I'm joking. I do love Cold Stone sweet cream though.
The button's right here. The button's right here.
And look,
It's like after you, coffee's just too good to put that sweetener in it. That's why.
wait, hold on. I'm going to defend Matt for a minute. Not saying that it's a girl thing, but what's in your coffee?
A straw.
I liked it better when she was knitting.
You have a coffee beside you. What's in it?
A straw.
And?
Cream.
And?
Pumpkin
Mocha?
spice.
No, I do not.
She don't do pumpkin spice. But there's chocolate.
Mocha. There's mocha.
There's a place for sugar in life, and it's not coffee.
I think people take.
I don't think it hurts. I probably didn't need to put it to the extent that I was putting it in, like 2 creamers, 2 sugars,
I
2
think-
Splendas.
You can't tell the difference between
Hot
good
cocoa
coffee
mix.
and bad coffee if you coated it in sugar.
Bob, for your Keurig, half and half. Half and half is low carb and breaks it up a little bit.
Yeah, I just been. I really, honestly, I want to like black coffee, and I figure maybe another month I'll actually enjoy black coffee. It's just it's bitter to me.
Yeah, in fairness, the ranchers of the world would call me a girl because I put half and half in mine.
Yeah, I wonder. Let's go call Mark
Real.
Call Mark Real
Yeah,
and
see what he has to say about my half and half.
See, does he like half and half or Cold Stone sweet cream? And see what he says. You'd have to call him at 4:00 in the morning when he's out on a cattle drive or something like that.
The better the coffee is, the less acid it is, the less bitter it is.
Mark Real answers the phone. Hello, this is Mark Real, and I'm wearing Wranglers.
Let's paint a picture for Mark Real. He's like Kevin
Eastwood?
Costner.
Just stop it.
He's Kevin Costner on Yellowstone is what he is probably, without all the murder.
Man, he's way harder than Kevin Costner.
That's
He's
true.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I can give him Clint Eastwood. John Wayne from the Cowboys. If y'all
There
ever
you
seen
go.
that movie,
Yeah. 6'3".
Kevin Costner's
I tell
just
you what,
playing a cowboy.
he's somebody you don't want to know that you do Weight Watchers, right, Matt? It was years ago. We were at camp meeting, and I guess we were having a conversation. Matt was losing, I only lost 5 pounds or something like that. I don't know. But no, he's doing good. And we're at their someone's tent, and I guess
my
it
wife
got out.
saw it. No,
Oh,
my wife said he's on Weight Watchers.
It's like, no, you don't tell Mark Real that your husband's on Weight Watchers. So his wife comes up. First thing he says to Miss Diane was like, Matt Coffey's on Weight Watchers. Most condescending thing.
It's like Greg's a male nurse.
Yeah, it is. It was exactly like Greg's male nurse.
That coffee's on Weight Watchers.
Kind of laughed.
Good times.
And Matt went and ate a bunch of chocolate and food at that. He was so depressed.
It might have been Matt Coffee as well. Somebody Mark Real saw drive off, and their wife was driving the car.
No, that has happened to me before, but not by Mark Real. But Kelly and I went to eat at what's the place that Katie works at?
Yeah, Everest.
I guess the Reals go up there every Friday night, and I always check my emails and do stuff on my phone, and Kelly will drive a lot.
See, I let Kim drive yesterday to Crow. So I just
And,
walk over to that side.
But when we were leaving, we ran into the Reals in there, and when we were leaving, I said, "Don't go to the driver's seat. I've got this."
Usually we look at those and it's like, oh, DUI.
Paul Dean makes that joke all the time.
Does he?
Yeah, all the
I
time.
don't know.
Oh, did you get DUI? Every time I see a man letting his wife drive, I think they got DUI.
I like to think I made that up, but
For all you people who are not in our context, that's where we live.
Yeah.
Where guys look at you like something's wrong if your wife is driving.
I'll be playing out and drives all the time.
we know.
Yeah.
We know.
The only reason
noticed.
she doesn't drive here because she doesn't like your driveway.
Yeah.
But
No, I hate Satan's driveway.
It's the ascent.
It's a rock slide.
but
Hey, Baptist Faith and Message. We're back to it. Article 11, Evangelism and Missions is what we're going to do this week because we didn't really want to tackle baptism.
Yeah, ordinances.
Yeah, baptism and ordinances today. It's 8:00 in the morning, and we didn't want to jump on that. But we feel
We'll save it for Wes. Wes is
we don't.
Wes is He's probably in another podcast, you think?
Probably doing something.
Haven't y'all beat that horse to death before?
What's that?
Baptism.
Well, we were not in the context of the Baptist,
No,
what the
because
Baptist
there's-
faith
because there's still
messages
some
are.
Y'all just
Presbyterians.
kept kicking that horse.
We still have some Presbyterians that listen. Not many, but there's still a few.
We're just saying, yeah.
We need to finish them off.
No, we didn't beat the horse. Like we unpacked it.
Oh, okay.
We unpacked that theology, which is very, very dense. So we had to unpack that.
Okay.
Evangelism and missions. Bob, you want to read it? You want me to read it?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Matt, can you move your mic? The boom. Oh, yeah. Okay. It is a duty and privilege of every follower of Christ and of every church of the Lord Jesus Christ to endeavor to make disciples of all nations. The new birth of man's spirit by God's Holy Spirit means the birth of love for others. Missionary efforts on the part of all rest thus upon a spiritual necessity of the regenerate life and is expressly and repeatedly commanded in the teachings of Christ. The Lord Jesus Christ has commanded the preaching of the gospel to all nations. It is the duty of every child of God to seek constantly to win the lost to Christ by verbal witness, undergirded by a Christian lifestyle, and by other methods in harmony with the gospel of Christ.
Gives a bunch of Bible verses that go underneath that statement. So the reason we've been going through this Baptist faith and message, sort of how we frame it up, is people who come in to join a local church, they probably don't know that this is what their church ascribes to.
Right. In this, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but for Southern Baptists, this is central. All of the BFM is central. But we are specifically a missions organization. Mm-hmm. That is why the SBC exists. That is the sole reason why it exists. Now we get into the weeds and get into political crap, but that is why we were founded. A lot of people they don't know the history of it. They assume Southern Baptist 1800s that we were founded based on slavery, and that is just not the case.
Yeah.
But we were founded specifically to send people overseas.
We don't do anything to curb that ideology when we say things like, see a guy riding in his passenger seat, he must have got a DWI. We don't do anything to curb that fault when we say stuff like that.
Point
That's
taken.
more of a Southern culture than it is
Southern, so when you join a local covenant, generally your covenant probably has some mission statement somewhere. And I didn't know any of this stuff when I made a decision to become a member of Denver Baptist. I didn't know anything about the Baptist faith and message. Although I can say when I read through these articles, it was woven into the fabric or our DNA at DBC. These things.
Go ahead. Well, not specific to just Baptist. I would hope that every church out there, their mission statement would include, Great Commission in there.
Dude, you ought to hear that, the rise and fall of Mars Hill.
I can't imagine what other church. I mean, I can't imagine because I'm sure there's other churches. There's probably just people that would attend, CEOs or something like that. But or there's other churches that are just, maybe more focused on programs or something like that. But
that's
I
one
just
of the
can't
things.
imagine that this.
Why is that not?
Why is that not in
part of who you
everyone's?
are,
And
yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, it should be.
Yeah.
What I asked when I went through new members class, at Griggs did my class. I asked him two questions: is the church growing, and at what rate is it growing, and do we do missions? Because if there was no to either one of those, it's a sign of a dead church.
Is the church growing?
Yes.
What if the church is revolving? I mean, I don't know.
This is a general question. It's a general statement. Are you growing? So I'm not saying if there's splits or there's controversy or whatever.
Did he say this is a new members class? Obviously, we're growing. You're here, aren't you? We gained 2 people.
If that was the first one in 5 years, there was a problem. But no, that's 2 signs of life in a church is that it's growing, it's baptizing people, and 2, it's sending people out.
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing either one of those, then
What's the point? Your club.
What's happening?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what our numbers are right now. None of us in here probably know what the numbers are as far as giving.
And growing isn't as necessary. I wouldn't even look at that as much as the missions part, because you think about some of the churches that we've gone to overseas. I mean, they probably are growing, I guess, but they don't have they're not really the growth that we would see around here, I guess, because it's such a dark area and stuff like that. And they probably do experience growth or turnover and stuff like that, but missions would be more important.
The underlining idea behind that question is a church is growing. A church grows rightly for one reason. It's preaching the gospel.
You should have asked, do you have a band or an organ? And then I'll know the answer.
I also asked him what is his conviction against tithes? Yeah. Anyway, but there's a reason. Like, if a church is growing at a specific rate, and I don't know what at the time DBC was growing at 5%. It's because it's preaching the gospel. Now, if it grows, if we see a gigantic growth, where are they preaching? Are they preaching?
Well, that's where I was getting ready to go. There's a lot of churches growing faster than good churches.
Yeah. So that's why you look at
theology.
You want a great, a constant rate, and then you look at why are they growing? Well, they're growing because they're preaching the Bible.
I think
that's a sign of a healthy, true church.
I think it's important to sit right where y'all are right now. We know there's a huge mega church in 30 minutes from us right now. They're blowing up. They got 6 campuses now.
Right.
We would say that the pastor is not one of our favorites as far as his theology goes. Right.
Yeah.
And he was a Southern
We
Baptist.
would probably
And
be
he was Southern Baptist.
we would probably be a little harsher than not one of our favorites.
Yeah, well, yeah. But you know what? I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of people that do life with us more than you think.
There's a lot of stickers. There's a lot of stickers out on the road for that particular church.
That would say, "Oh, I listen to Furtick." Oh, I didn't want to say his name, but
I don't care you do or not. The guy stood up 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and said that he was God. He needs to be called out.
Larry. Ain't that his name?
Huh?
Ain't that his real name?
Is it?
Well, that's so.
is it?
It's something weird.
It's just so there's a lot of
Larry Furtick?
He stood up and he said, when God said "I am," he was saying also I
am.
I am.
First person.
Yeah, you cross the line there, dude. That's not just a. If it was a mistake, then he's not a very good preacher who prepares very well.
Yeah. So Larry Stevens Furtick Jr.
Larry Stevens Furtick. Listen, man.
Anyway,
there's some people I've talked to that have come through our doors, and I've just started chatting with them, and they've said, "Oh, I was listening to a Stephen Furtick sermon one time, or I was listening. I where you come from? I come from Elevation, right? I've heard that before, and so I'm careful about berating him too much, because I know that there are people who are fans.
But here you are berating him.
I'm not saying anything too bad about him. But so one of the verses that it gives is Genesis chapter 12, verses 1-3. And here's what it says. Now the Lord said to Abraham, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. Verse 3 says, I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Now, if you're not careful, you'll skim over that, and you won't see the beautiful mission statement in that. I'm making nations from you.
Yeah.
Which Jesus comes and puts a bow on it in the end and says, go there, or as you are going, make disciples of all nations.
Right.
All families are going to be blessed through you, and here it is.
And he sets the foundation in the very beginning. This is even before the covenant was given. It's go. Mm-hmm. Go, and I will bless you.
Go.
And so that is always the purpose, is to go. We're not meant to stay.
Yeah. Yes.
Because think about it. Think about it here. He could have started a nation anywhere.
Right there. Right there.
Right there. Because where he was in kind of northern part of Mesopotamia. So you look at Israel, and so northwest, kind of like going into Asia. That's where, and I forget what the name of the town or the region was, but that's where he was. But he's saying, I want you to go to Israel. I want you, and the point is to go. This is where I want to make a nation through time, and
I think God is telling him, I picked the spot. Go there. Out of this land is where I'm going to bless the nations.
Yes.
But for people in our context, I don't want them to hear we're telling them to be moving and be genies all the time. Not genies. What is it called? Gypsies.
We're gypsies.
All the time.
Don't be genies either. We'll get to that point.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, you don't have to be moving and changing addresses all the time.
We're gonna get to that point when we get to a certain verse. But let's keep.
Yeah. So don't hear us saying that.
Why is it hard for us sometimes to? Like I would even say as a church, our DNA is very mission oriented.
Mm-hmm.
But it sometimes seems, and I'll just say in my personal life, and I think y'all would probably agree as well, is how we don't apply that locally where we are as we're going. Like we can hop on a plane and go somewhere, and then it just doesn't seem like we do as good of a job of it in our own town.
Because in Baptist churches, we make heroes out of those who leave the country.
Yeah,
it becomes a hero worship. So we think that missions is going to, going to China, those are the heroes that we look at. And you think about it, we're about to have a missions conference, and we bring people in, and there's unintentionally, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but we elevate those who travel the furthest. You think about it, when I go to the mission conference, I don't want to talk to the guy who went to Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I want to talk to the guy who's in Jordan.
Yeah. A lot of it, I think, as far as comfort, I've said it before. It's like for some reason it's easier to go to a country and engage somebody about religion as opposed to somebody that you normally do life with who you think impossible. I don't know.
Are we embarrassed of the gospel?
I don't know. I'm trying to put my finger. I think I'm just
like we live amongst these people. I mean, what's our purpose? Why are we like that?
That is a great question, and it's so true.
Like we walk up to complete strangers in Amsterdam,
yeah, or wherever we go.
Like we're like, oh man, this guy next to me at work. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Which is what I was saying about not changing addresses. What I'm saying is that the theology is as you are going,
right?
Not go, but as you are going.
As you do life with people, we talk about doing life with people, and that's.
Matthew 28's on that list somewhere. Let's go ahead and pull it up and let's talk about it.
Yeah, Matthew 28. It's a great commission, man. That's one of our favorites.
And you probably all memorize it, but Jesus came near and said to them, all authority has been given to me on heaven and on earth. Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe everything that I have commanded you, and lo, remember, I am with you always to the end of the age. Your mic's on the stage.
Yeah.
And so here's in English, it seems like a single command to go, but that's not the case in the Greek. And I can't remember the exact phrasing of what it's called, but basically, it is a participle that means while you are going
to it. Yeah.
That while you are getting after it, getting life. So it's. It's not talking specifically go to a mission trip, even though that's a good thing. It's while you are going, while you are living, while you are doing life, make disciples.
This go is not the same go as Abraham go,
which means it means it's not just a small, like a 1 week a year where you go somewhere else. Right. It's 365 days a year.
Right.
Doing life as you're going. Make disciples.
Yeah,
man. I don't know.
What do you do if you're getting your tires rotated?
Yeah,
you're sitting in there. What do you do while you're sitting in there? There's other people. Phone. It's part of that culture now. That's all we do is we sit there with a phone in our hand, and people don't chit chat with each other.
No. Yeah, I know, man.
How do you? Everybody's busy doing something.
I'll travel across the country twice this year. And I remember when I was a kid, when I would travel to Houston to see my family. People didn't have entertainment on a plane, so they would talk, and I would have the chances to talk with them. Being an introvert, that's very uncomfortable. One, I'm trapped. Two, now I have to talk to you. But it was a great opportunity to share the gospel. Now, literally before I sit down in my seat, I put my stuff up, get comfortable, and I turn on a movie. And now there's a little latch in front of me that I could put my iPad on. And for my 4-hour flight, I watched 2 movies.
Yeah.
but so is the person next to me, and so is that person. And
Mind
so
your business.
It's so I always find that interesting. Like I always pray for the opportunity to share Christ with somebody, but by the time Ann drops me off and the time I land, I don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And it's kind of comfortable because I'm an introvert. I'm not very good at talking to strangers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think, how much do I miss the opportunity to share the gospel?
Will you pull that Baptist?
I know specifically to the mission work that most of us have done together here, and just in preparation for a Sunday school lesson this week about Muslims. Like part of their culture, it's very, very normal to talk about politics and religion, even to strangers. That's frowned upon here.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, don't talk. Yeah,
We don't do that. We don't
we
have
talk
that
about sports.
conversation.
You can talking to somebody about sports, anything else, but yeah, it's a little bit different.
Like, whoa.
Yeah,
That's my business. That's my personal business. We don't have that conversation well. I think to address your first question, Matt, is why don't we do it? It's because when we go on a mission trip, we have made up our minds for this next week, we're going to be intentional about reaching people with the gospel.
We prepare for it.
And we don't have any other distractions. Like, we don't have work to deal with. I'm not going back and forth to work. I don't have reports. Distractions may be a bad word for this next one, but our families are not there. Like, you don't have to babysit and worry about getting baths and all that thing and getting kids up and getting ready for school. You're there for missions. You wake up in the morning, you go get breakfast, and then you go to your missionary's house, and we get a game plan together, and then we go out. And our day is set up for doing mission work. If we said one Saturday morning, we're going to get up, and today is going to be about reaching people for the gospel, it would probably be that way. Wherever
I think
we go.
that's the problem because I'm probably worse than you are, even. So I point the finger at myself more. But I think we're probably supposed to get up every day in that preparation as we're going.
Yeah.
That whether it's in our quiet time in the morning, I make excuses for myself too. I honestly, like, pretty much everyone I work with now, I go to church with, or is a believer. You get to walk through things in life with people as fellow believers. But I've kind of insulated myself a lot from outside. I don't sit down and.
Well, something else in this statement says, in this article, it says it is a duty of every child of God to seek constantly to win the lost to Christ by verbal witness, undergirded by a Christian lifestyle. So, and a lot of people outside of church on Sunday,
Yikes.
There's no difference between them and the secular world.
Yikes.
Get it, Bob.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So there's no, you're not witnessing if they don't see a difference between a Christian and themselves who are secular or don't believe.
Yeah.
That's a problem, and you need to evaluate yourself. I guess I need to, and myself the same way. There should be a difference. They should be able to see a difference with the people I interact with, the people I work with, people just that I meet and go out and talk to. They should see that I'm different than the rest of the world.
It's interesting when you have a secular job too. And here's what I mean. That my job is I literally have to talk to every one of my employees. I have 300 of them. But in my job, I can't go to the brand new hire. Hey, let me tell you about Jesus. He would have every right to go to HR, and it just doesn't work that way. So how am I intentional to share the gospel at work? Is I surround myself with things to, first of all, I try, like Bob says, show the love of Christ. I treat everybody the same, whether you're the CEO or you're the new hire. I treat you the same. But I also have conversational starters. I have a bust of John Calvin on my desk. I have a bobblehead of Martin Luther on my desk. Why? Because people come and ask me about that. And that opens a door for me to be intentional to share, to try to lead the conversation to share Christ.
I think that's good, man. Look at the spirit of that is looking for ways to get the conversation to the gospel, which is what we do when we're being intentional for a week.
Yeah.
We engage in conversation usually about nothing, and then we get up enough courage to ask them about their faith.
Yeah,
you're from land X. You're from Turkey. You're from there. So are you Muslim? Oh, yes, I'm Muslim. And then tell me about Islam.
Share your faith with me.
Share it with me. Tell me about Islam. And then you just wait for the bridge.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
Yeah, they open up and they're doing most of the talking.
Yeah.
And then
Yep. Oh,
It's because they're so excited to talk about their faith.
Yeah.
And a lot of it starts too.
I'm excited to talk to somebody about Christianity. But generally it's like an apologetics conversation here. It's usually arguing about something.
Yeah.
Arguing about some detail, or like I heard a guy last night that said the only thing that Jesus didn't condemn us for was jealousy. He said, "I'm a jealous God." And it was so childlike. I just didn't even I didn't even engage it. I didn't have enough time to stand there and go, okay, let me clean this up for you. I just let him go. Is that bad?
I wanted to correct him, but instead I said, "Yeah, man."
That's essentially what happened. I wanted to correct him, but I was just like, okay.
Well, Kim said, wherever he falls, there he lays.
I let him lay there, man. So I there clearly was a bridge for the gospel conversation, but this guy doesn't know the gospel.
Right.
He doesn't know anything.
He doesn't know the nature of
He's
God.
just taking
Yeah.
bits and pieces from the Bible and coming up with theology, and I don't have time to work it out right now.
And here's the thing about in the United States.
As I'm going.
Yeah. And I encourage, Matt has actually done his Sunday school class to actually help fix this with apologetics, is that we as a culture know bits and pieces and we fit the narrative to fit our narrative. And so we in the United States, it's not just the gospel that we got to share, but we have to actually share, the doctrine of God, the doctrine of Scripture, the doctrine of creation. We have to know these things because people think they know because they read blogs. Mm-hmm. And it's like the more information we have access to, the more misinformed people are.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I've said it many times, I'm going to keep saying it. One of our biggest threats in Christianity today is progressive Christianity, who fit their narrative, fit Scripture to make Scripture fit their narrative. Mm-hmm. And so it is different sharing the gospel in the United States, but
it's so different.
It's like the more information we have, the more misinformation is being shared, and it's.
I find it
scary.
easier to share the gospel with someone who would tell you I'm not a Christian.
Yeah,
it's easier to share the gospel with them than to unpack someone's poor theology who believes they're a Christian.
right.
It's you got to work through so many.
And what's the
weeds.
percentage of people in America that say they're Christians?
It's like 80%.
That's what makes it harder.
Yeah.
Some of it starts with us from the standpoint too.
You're right.
What is our quiet time like in the morning? What is our Bible time to where we actually focus on the gospel? We sit back and thank God and really meditate on who He is and who we are in Him. If we did that, would we not be more likely to go out and live out as we're going the Great Commission? I think it starts with some of that. I'm not doing a good job with that.
Yeah.
We have to be fed to be able to feed
That's
others.
it right there. Morning, evening, night. You gotta get something has to go in.
Yeah.
Right? To stir you up.
Yeah.
So that it comes out. More has to go in. I mean, we surround ourselves with each other. We take pride in our fellowship.
Yeah.
Right. Doing life together. I guess the fallback to that is we don't do life with people who are outside the faith.
Yeah.
Like they're not in our inner circle. Those people.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of those folks who don't already believe that you're going to call and say, "Come fellowship with us."
Yeah.
Yeah, I've reached the point in life, and I guess it's natural because you want to hang out with like-minded people.
Yeah.
You're encouraged by them. But every close friend I have now, I go to church with.
Yeah. I went out with my old some friends from high school, even roommates like probably 2 weeks ago, and it's just it's
weird.
It's just I'm not close. We're not the same. We're not the same place. I've changed, or God has changed me, and it's just kind of it's not the same hanging out with him.
How do we do it better, Sean?
I had the answer.
Fix us.
Let's. I want to focus on one thing real quick, and maybe this is part of the answer too, because I think this is lost today. We talked about the church last week, where the first sentence of this says, "It's the duty and privilege of every believer, every follower of Christ, and of every church of the Lord Jesus Christ to endeavor to make disciples of all nations." So, what is the purpose of the church? And we said this last week, and I want to reiterate it: is that as a non-believer, you should be uncomfortable in the church. In general, in Christianity today, we think our job is to invite people to church. That it's a hospital for the sick. It's not a hospital for the sick. It is a springboard for the Christian. It is to prepare Christians, the believer, to go fulfill the Great Commission. That should be the purpose of the church. And so we sit under gospel teaching, right teaching, which is another pillar of the church, prepare us to go out so that we go out to the world to share the gospel. And we bring in new disciples, not the lost. How do we fix that? I mean, and I know there was a big conversation when I took evangelism about how many non-Christian friends we have. And this is just Christianity. This is just people that we don't go surround ourselves with non-Christians. I don't know if that's a problem. I mean, last Thursday, I sat down at a bar. I picked a random bar in Chandler, Arizona to watch, because I know that's the one place I could watch the Astros. And I sat there for 4 hours, and I just watched people. I watched the game, but I watched people, and I think I have nothing in common with this loudmouth in the corner that's cussing in front of women. I have nothing in common with him. I just have nothing in common with these people. And it's not, I'm not saying that I'm better than them or anything like that. I'm not going to go to a bar and these guys spend every afternoon there. How do I know? Because they're having normal conversations with the bartender.
Maybe you don't spend enough time in bars, Sean.
Maybe
your mission failed.
Maybe I'm gonna start drinking beer for the Lord or something. But that's what these guys did.
So whatever you eat or drink,
Yeah, this is a normal Thursday afternoon for these guys to go and hang out at the bar.
whether you eat or drink,
Yeah, and that's just not. It's not what I'm gonna do. So
I have friends I hung out with last night, and when we grew up together, one in particular, we grew up together. He and I have plenty in common. But he knows where I stand. He knows I'm a Christian, right? I don't know if he would deny being a Christian. I think he would probably say, I'm not living right. I ain't doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. That kind of thing. Two of my lifelong friends were there last night. And they're just not Christians. But I love hanging out with them. These are my guys, like long time friends. But I said a couple months ago when I came back from a trip, like we're gonna come to a place where we're gonna part ways. And when it comes to that place where we are gonna part ways, I will sever the relationship. Like I will swiftly cut it. And I hope that it never comes to that. But sometimes having those conversations can lead to it coming to that.
Yeah.
Are you literally going to shake the dust off your feet?
Man, I will shake the Catawba County dust off my feet. Yeah, and so
I think that's more how it's supposed to work.
There's a balance somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You have. We sat out here and called one of our old friends one night, and I'd love for him to come hang out with us. Yeah. But we know he's not a Christian. Yeah. And we're trying to get him to hang out with us so he can be around Christian men and hear some of the talks. But many times our talks are about Calvinism and Arminianism, and what we really need to be focusing on is the simplicity of the grace of God. Faith in Jesus Christ alone for your salvation.
Preaching it to ourselves and each other.
Yeah, yeah. And
then when you're awoken and reminded of that, that's when I'm thinking of quiet time. I'm not thinking, hey, I need to do this just to say, this is what I'm going to do to prepare myself to go out on mission today. It's not that. You're reminding yourself that propels you out in mission.
Right.
Instead, we wake up, we grab our phone, lay in bed for a little while,
swipe, check.
Yeah. Oh, crap. Now I got to
mad,
go. I don't have
Get
time.
mad at what we're reading on social
Set my
media.
fantasy football lineup, read about all the players that are injured, curse a little bit.
I thought your football teams would be better, Matt. You do all that. Nothing.
I'm reflecting.
How many
man.
players? I got 4 players
here we go.
that are on injured reserve right now.
I'm reflecting. I don't know if I mean,
We're about to be distracted like Matt and doing his devotional.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Fantasy football.
those conversations about Calvinism are important conversations.
I think they're important conversations with brothers because it's iron sharpening iron.
Yeah.
But in fairness, if we had one of those people there, we wouldn't sit down and have a debate on.
No, not like that.
In our G3,
We've done it.
In our G3, we have talked hours upon hours about Calvinism. But when we know that there's a lost person or someone who is not there yet, we don't have those
Don't
conversations.
do that.
No.
Don't do that.
No, we open up the Bible and share the gospel.
There are many believers that can't sit under that.
Yeah,
Like, they
that's
don't,
true.
They have a problem with that. Like,
Yeah.
what are y'all doing? Yeah, we've had these conversations.
Yeah.
You know, we probably shouldn't. So being intentional, I guess, sometimes looks like just inviting lost people to hang out with brothers or sisters and having sweet conversations about the simplicity of God's grace. I remember London said one time, though, in opposition to that, he hangs out with us and enjoys hanging out with us. I say he hangs out with us. He's a part of our group, London, my son.
Yeah.
But he told me, and I think he told us, I thought when y'all got together all the time, it was just a Bible study. I didn't know that y'all actually told jokes and had fun. I didn't know y'all were cool.
Must have been a real surprise for him how funny we were. We're hilarious.
So there is, so you
Guarantee you we're funnier than those losers he hangs out with.
I guarantee it. But there is I mean, we're not, so I go to get my oil change. I'm looking at my phone. We're not always talking about the Bible, right? We're just regular dudes. We're laymen. We're just regular dudes. Not that clergymen do it too. I mean, we just, as you are going, you're making disciples. I guess.
I'm convinced every time Chris Gray goes to the store, he shares the gospel. Somebody. No.
But see,
Jeff Cornette does.
Some people will say, some people will say, every time we go out to eat, we're going to ask the waiter what her name is and how can we pray for her.
Right. And I've done that in the past. And it's awkward.
It's awkward.
It's weird. Because she's like,
It's just awkward.
better not get your order wrong.
Pray that I get a
Pray
big
that I
tip.
get a decent tip.
She's like, oh, now I'm not going to get tipped at all.
We're going to bless the meal. And when we pray, we'd like to pray for you.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
weird.
Who is this?
Here's what I do. And
It's not as weird as, how's your bacon?
and this is not a foolproof because some people are like, oh no, but every time you meet somebody, you better share the gospel. And I pray for the opportunity every day. Lord, somehow open a conversation. But I'm not forward enough, or I don't have enough. I mean, I can't do it at work, but I'm not. All right, I'm going to share the gospel with you today. That's just not me. It's just not me. But I pray for the opportunity, and I try to make those opportunities with conversation starters or whatever. I pray for those opportunities, and I try to be intentional. But I'm not Ray Comfort who goes up to people randomly and says, "If you follow the 10 Commandments today," that's just not me, and I hope that's okay. But when I get the opportunity, I mean, I've led a man to Christ in the middle of the night on a construction site because I prayed for these opportunities to open up with themselves. They don't always happen, but I hope they do. So And I'm an introvert. I mean, I am not an extrovert. I can't go up to. I follow Kemp around Sunday after church on Sunday just to watch him. Like he has a conversation with I think all 650 people in our congregation, and I love them. These are my people. I'm the one that's weaving around the groups trying to avoid conversations. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'm just being honest. That's just me.
Yeah, it does take a bit of, if you're an introvert, if you don't like rubbing up against people, it does take a bit of this reshaping your personality, and you get your theology from, hey, I'm supposed to be doing this, and then but look, it doesn't look the same. It's not cookie cutter,
right?
Everybody does it in their own way, and some people are Billy Graham's gonna preach to 1 million people, and then Billy Smith is gonna preach in a small church.
Yeah,
right. I mean, it just looks different on every other plate.
Yeah.
It looks different. So
yeah,
but the point is, your heart should be postured in such a way that you're trying to get it out to people, trying to reach as many people as possible.
There's a saying that it was St. Francis of Assisi that said it, and this has become such a great controversy, and people are like, oh no, this is heresy, but I don't think it is. And y'all could jump on me all you want about this, where it says always preach the gospel, and if necessary, use words. Yes, we have to preach the gospel, and yes, we have to use words, but sometimes the way you act opens a conversation.
Well, I guess last night was a disaster for me. Then.
So I think I've just lost everybody who claims to be reformed. Like, you're definitely not reformed now, but I think there is some truth to that.
No,
I'm not saying that's the whole truth.
We know eventually he has to hear it.
Yeah, he's got to hear
Somebody's got to preach it.
But sometimes it's that truth brings a conversation about.
Mm-hmm. Living it out, man.
Yeah, so you think about the effect or how you do it, being intentional. So I think about, leaving a sporting event, and there's a guy on the street corner screaming at people, or we had somebody when I went to college, there was always got at this obelisk we had, just calling everybody out. And really it's just getting arguments with people. And I'm trying to think, that's not I don't believe that's an effective way to actually or convert or to show people.
There's a guy in Charlotte on Tryon and Trade, which is the center of Charlotte, and I see him almost every time I'm there, and he's riding a bike up and down, just saying, "Jesus saves, Jesus saves." So how many people have come to you and say, "Hey, because of you, I turned my life to Christ"?
Tell me more about this Jesus who saves.
Yeah, by you.
Who is Jesus and what is he saving?
Yeah.
No, we talk about being intentional. We used to do something at our church, barbecue your neighbor, I guess.
What?
Barbecue your neighbor?
Yeah.
What kind of church did you go to?
It was what was that?
I remember.
It replaced life. You remember?
Yeah, it was.
That surely wasn't the name of it. Basically, barbecue your neighbor.
Basically, it was. I like to think that's what it was.
There was somebody in marketing and said, "You know what? That's a great title.
I like it. Let's do it.
Come to our house for barbecue your neighbor."
The whole point was your mission field is your neighborhood and your neighbors, and you basically do life with those people, and then that's how you do it. You just don't. I mean, you start. You can. People will be more receptive to the message that you have if you actually have an actual connection with these people that you're doing life with and you live with.
Yeah. And listen, everybody ain't gonna come to faith. Everybody's not gonna come to faith. I was with 100 people last night.
So everybody was predestined.
We ain't doing it. Everybody's not gonna come to faith. So you could hang out with all of your old buddies, and there might be one that hears the gospel and is saved.
But
you also don't know what their soul. I mean, when you're planting seeds, and you don't know God is going to do the work, and you could be planting that seed, and there may become a time years down the road where God has done His work, and He comes.
That's why He's never called you to be a reaper. Yeah. He's always called you to sow the seed.
Yeah.
The reaping is not your responsibility.
And that's why we go out. We don't know what the soul type of these individuals we're speaking to. We're just hoping and we're praying that God would do His work.
Why don't we take a Saturday, and get up early and pray and go out and be intentional about engaging people with gospel conversation right here at home? What would that look like?
Well, even to the extent of, I'm probably not going exactly where you're going. I'll say that, but it's just another thought I had the other day. We were up in the university area, and there's a growing Muslim population that I know specifically for us, that's become a kind of a niche because we've prepared for it so many years. I don't want to say know what we're doing, but we kind of know what we're doing. We know how the conversations
We
go.
have experience.
And what we've done, our DNA at our church specifically has been so much on this. Probably isn't. It's foreign missions. We've tried, and it's so much easier to get people motivated to go overseas than it is to go to their own town. I'm sure Kenny Furchess would confirm that with everything he tried to pull together locally. It was when we had missionaries crossing each other in airports, going to different places prior to COVID. But I think anytime we tried to barbecue your neighbor or anything like that, it did not go as well as what some of our foreign missions would be. But like a Saturday, back to a Saturday. Man, we could do it just like we do in Amsterdam. We find that there's Mediterranean restaurants. There's Mediterranean restaurants there. There's stuff going on that we could. I saw several Muslim people. And again, now how would that look in Denver? We didn't have hardly a good coffee shop to go to.
That's the thing. The setting for eating. Like we go to a coffee shop. It's really it's not intimate. Like it's sort of communal. In those places over there.
You know where it would be at?
Where?
It would be in a bar.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
It would be in a bar. Like
it's communal.
Because even in a restaurant, you don't sit down. You have a booth and like
we don't talk to tables across
this is
from us.
The picture where we go is they're literally for a couple hours or just hours, just groups of men just sitting together talking, and that's who we.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very easy to introduce ourselves and get in
so
good
if
conversations
we
with
met together
Okay.
and we go to Buffalo Wild Wings,
Let's go to Cigar Lounge.
Cigar Lounge,
Yeah.
even, and we go on instead of doing it in our place the way we have, and just there's people that's a natural environment.
It's communal.
It's a natural environment to sit down and have a conversation with someone.
Let's do it. Let's pick a Saturday and go. We'll spend however long it takes.
Or even like
it takes
the
2 hours
the Sunday nights or Tuesday nights or whatever when we've traditionally got together at our place, like go Monday Night Football, go somewhere, something to where there's people around that.
Monday Night Football is a tough one because people are watching the game. They're intently watching that game. But if we did,
not always, but
yeah.
We'll
figure it out. We'll look. I'm serious, man. Let's do it.
Let's be more intentional.
Let's be intentional. Let's pick a day, and we're going to sit down in a communal place, cigar lounge or bar, where it's natural to be talking to people.
Yeah.
And just engage.
Yeah.
we can tell our wives we're going out to do mission.
That's it. I'm gonna come back and smell like cigars.
I would love to hang out with you and the kids tonight,
But
Matthew 28.
Matthew 28, right?
you know Matthew 28, right?
Look it up. Look it up while I'm gone.
Look at Ann just shakes her head. I'm serious, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Local mission team.
But let's quit talking about it.
There we
If
go.
Wes
Let's
was
go
here,
do
that's
it.
what he'd
There
say.
we go. Yeah. Anybody out there in our context that's around here that wants to join us, hit us up.
Yeah.
We'll light up and we'll engage. Or you to go do it and tell us how it goes.
I'm gonna send a text to start a thread with Wes and say, Wes, Tuesday night we're going to a bar to share the gospel. Come on.
Ooh.
It doesn't sound as bad if you say sports bar.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to the
We're not going to Twin
to the
Oaks.
Twin Oaks for the first turn, are we?
I don't know what those places are.
Where the music would stop if we walk in.
Yeah.
The locals.
I could tell stories, but
It has to be
That's for
it has
off
to be
air.
a food bar.
Yeah.
we're going to the East Coast.
All right, I'm serious, man. I'm gonna look at my calendar and see when I can carve out, 4 hours on a Saturday. Like 4 hours. If you're gonna go golfing, it takes 4 hours to play 18 holes of golf. So we're gonna pick out a Saturday where we just get up. Let's say we're there at 10 o'clock. 10 to
People
2.
show up at those places at 10 o'clock.
I think they open about
Yes.
11.
Oh, no.
Yes.
It's hard to maintain
You go in there during the week, people are working from there.
It's hard to maintain a Christian
what I
lifestyle when
did
you're
last
golfing,
Thursday.
though, for me.
Well, yeah, I know, right? I know. Yeah. Swinging a golf club at a little tiny white ball is very sanctifying. All right, I don't have anything else. Bob, final thoughts on
I'm
this?
good. I enjoyed it.
Sean, final thoughts.
Again, we didn't really get into, but this is central to being a Baptist is sharing the gospel. Your church should be a sending factory. It's not a hospital for the lost. It's a factory to send
Springboard, baby. I like it. Sending factory.
Yeah, to share the gospel. And that should be, if your church is not doing missions, and if it's not growing rightly, then it's a dead church.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. And you don't have to change addresses. You can go from right where you are.
Right.
As you are going.
Right. And that's exactly what the Greek reader would have understood, that as I am going, as I am living my life, I am to share the gospel.
Final thoughts on being a missional, Matt Coffee? You good?
I'm ready to go back out too. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready for
too.
COVID to allow us. I've missed that time.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you have any final thoughts on being missional?
No, I'm good.
No, you're good. All right, we're gonna let you out of here. I know you're dying. You've almost
You almost got that quilt knitted.
You got a throw rug over there. Yeah. Did we bore you with our missional work over here?
What was your favorite part of our discussion, Ann?
I'm enraptured.
Hey, Matthew 28. Read it. Tell the people how they can help us get the gospel out.
Make sure you follow us on all the social medias and hit the share button. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Layman's Cup. Again, we're halfway to our first goal.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Pam,
Thank you, Layman.
Miss Black. I mean,
Thank you,
Candy,
Layman.
all you guys have given. But we're not there yet. But hopefully next week we'll have a new board, working on some other stuff. Because we want to go to YouTube with excellence to grow and to share the gospel and to challenge the new believers. So help us do that. If you got any questions, email the show laymanscup@gmail.com. Ann and I are watching that constantly, so we can answer any questions you got.
Thank you both for doing that as well. Lindsay B, my friend Lindsay B, said that she had a monitor and it's a TV and the apps work on it. I'll tell you about it. So we got to decide if we want to take that from her.
We got a couple options for that.
Okay, very good. Thank you,
One more
Lindsay B.
thing.
Yep.
Be on the lookout for some brand new Layman's merch.
Things are happening around
Thank you,
here.
new and improved producer.
Thank you, same old Bob.
We are wretched, but God is not. And through his son, he has rescued us. And through his spirit, he is changing us so that we can enjoy him forever. Thanks be to God through Jesus Christ our Lord. And until next time, Sean, cue the violins.